Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be one of those most important videos for Apex Legends in the future of it. I hate to sound a little dramatic, but this is just what everyone is talking about, whether it's on Reddit, whether it's a casual, whether it's a comment section, whether it's a creator, whether it's a pro, and we're going to talk about it, but we're going to knock out some of the more positive ends of what's going on. And then I'm going to be honest, it may sound a bit ranty, but I think everyone's going to relate to it. And I have my man Dre Nilla here. Dre?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back, bro. We back in the lab. You know, thank you for again having me for another video, man. I'm excited to talk about these different things, especially within Apex. So get right into it, man.
I want to set the stage a little. I knew that this video was going to happen. I knew that the Apex was in the state. Okay, this is not a shock to anybody. We're in a point where the game is at year 4, or going into year 5, right? And the game's future is that if it breaks through this mold, then we have a game that stands the test of time. I mean, we have a lot of buildup. It's a game that is going to be considered old. You know, can it last another 5 to 10 years? And there's a lot of stuff a lot of competition. And I'm going to highlight some of the positives, and you can reinforce some of these positives if I miss anything. But some of the positives that are happening is that Respawn is balancing the meta. They are releasing new LTMs. There are changes that are happening, but maybe not as fast as we hope. Right? I mean, ranked changes are happening, but ranked is a big issue still.
Dude, it still is, bro. After all this time, after what, 2-3 years, bro, of having an actual decent system and then going back to the system that we have now, it's like, bro, come on. What are we doing? You know, like we already had a method that was working. So why are we trying different things that aren't working? And obviously the community isn't having a positive reaction to it. So like, why not do the things that were working, you know, before, instead of trying to completely switch it up and like try to make a new system and reinvent it when there's things that have already been working and the community that actually enjoyed it, you know? Like, come on, like, what are we doing?
I felt because, like, I mean, when we think about the current rank system, let's talk about this from even a casual perspective, right? Yeah. People who are investing a lot of time, and I think we've had a system that ping pongs back and forth, and so even a pro or casual gets really confused on where they sit, and nobody wants to sweat their balls off. No, not a content creator, not a casual. And what's crazy is that everyone's at each other's necks, right? But everyone's saying the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they think that, oh, those creators just want to dunk on people. I mean, yeah, they kind of do. And what about a casual? Let's talk about the hypocrisy here. A casual also wants to win and have a good time, right?
Of course, yeah.
What sucks is that we have to deal with skill-based matchmaking and ranked and also pubs. Right?
It is so intense, bro. You know, in Apex, man, they always compare SBMM and COD into Apex, bro. And COD may have the upper hand when it comes to SBMM, but in Apex, bro, it's a BR. Things are a lot more fast-paced, a lot more things going on. You know what I'm saying? So the SBM is just cranked, bro. It's cranked in pubs, in mixtape, in obviously ranked, but like any other casual mode there is, maybe even in the firing range, there's SBMM, you know? You never know.
the dummies start really kicking up and they're messing you up, man.
Exactly. But like, it's just so cranked, bro. And like, the big thing that I kind of come from is like, what is there to like work towards in Apex now for a casual, right? Like for the people who don't want to play ranked, for the people who only have a couple hours a day, but they want to get some Apex in, like what is there to work towards right now, you know, other than like the leveling system, the guns? There's nothing really outside of that. There's nothing to really show for like your time and your investment into the game other than your actual just raw skill level, you know?
I have a really hot take because I'm going to piggyback off that, and I want your thoughts on this. And I've been stirring with this thought, where I think that Respawn has been trying to cater to everybody, and they've been trying really hard to make everyone happy. And I think the issue is that they've made nobody happy. And so my next point of this is, because they have made nobody happy, I almost prefer if Respawn just made their hard decisions on stuff. An example, are configs okay or not? How hard are they going to make a stance on cheating? Or how are they going to feel about the current rank system and putting their foot down and saying this is how it's going to be on various topics, right? Things that are like configs is what makes things sweaty, right? And if you're a casual, those are the things that sometimes where you can change a roller player on Steam, where you can add the ability to tap strafe, or having a ground, or maybe like the debate on aim assist versus MNK, right? There's a lot of grounds where we need Respawn to really put their foot down and say what they want. And there's going to be a lot of people unhappy, but I think they're trying to make everyone happy, in my opinion. And it's why we're in this weird boat where the casuals keep screaming that they're catering to the pros, and the pros are screaming they're catering to the casuals. What do you think?
Like
I threw a lot out there.
There's no in between.
I threw a lot out
there. Yeah, man. I mean, I completely agree, bro. Like, they're in a position where they really don't want to step on any toes, and they probably realize too that they're going into year 5. You know, their game isn't as popping as it used to be when it first released and it first dropped, but people are still playing it, and they know they still have an audience, and they're trying to cater to that audience. But like you said, they are trying to make everybody happy, because there's so many different different levels to Apex. You know, you have the casuals, like you said, you got the pro players, you got the middle ground players, you got the people who invest time into the game but aren't trying to get as sweaty and as committed as as a pro player, but a little bit more than a casual, you know, stuff like that. And so they're trying to cater to all levels of Apex, but like you said, they should just hard put their foot down to some of these decisions, like you said, configs, aim assist versus M&K, the rank system especially, because that's really the only thing that you can grind for in Apex, you know? And so they just need to make like some concrete decisions. And yeah, they're gonna piss off some people, maybe even a lot of people, but over time, people are gonna learn to accept that it's Respawn and the devs' decision rather than like the communities. And I also feel like there should be some more communication. And you know, we've been saying this throughout the years that Respawn needs more communication, and they do communicate on certain topics, whether it's like game-breaking bugs or really things the community is kind of harping on. But when it comes to ranked and it comes to, you know, M&K versus aim assist and it comes to configs and these little things, I feel like they should at least acknowledge that they're seeing it and they're working on it internally, rather than just making us feel like it's all getting ignored and then the patch notes come out and then boom, it's something we didn't even expect. You know, like I would love a little bit more communication. Like look at Fortnite, for example, right? Everybody hated the new chapter of Fortnite and like the movement and shit like that. Fortnite put out a tweet. They're like, hey, we recognize you guys don't like it, but just give it some time. Like give it a little bit of time. If you guys still don't like it, we'll go back to the drawing board, but just like bear with us. And they put that out a day after the season dropped. Like what? Like that they saw everybody complaining, they saw all the outreach, they saw all the negative feedback, and they're like, okay, we need to make a statement on that. Respawn, they see something like that, they're going into hiding for the next 3 months, bro. They're not giving a
I think that I generally appreciate when Respawn does say things, and I think that they need to know that we respect their voice. Yeah, it's crazy to say that. Sure. I think that you're right. There's a theme here. So far in the video, what we've talked about, because I know we've kind of gone a little different spots because there's so much going on here, is that we talked about the fact that Apex is overarching into year 4 to 5, and then we have all these small problems, but they all could be solved, like you said, with communication. So that could be SBMM, that could be rank changes, that could be LTMs, that could be what we like, what we don't like, and then at the end, even if they don't care about what we like or don't like, just making a stance and communicating it, right? That seems like the overall theme from what we just talked about for the past like maybe 3 to 4 minutes and to where we're at right now, right? Because it is one bucket. There is a solution here. Anybody from Respawn happens to watch this, I think this only reinforces that we want, as much as they keep saying they want the player's voice heard, they want a content creator's voice heard, a pro player heard, I honestly think at this point it's time for Respawn's voice to be heard, man. And maybe that's another hot take, and maybe a casual's gonna watch us like, well, they don't know what's best for the game. I don't even think they've said what the heck they want, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of maybe Respawn devs as well probably feel like their voice doesn't get heard, because whenever they say something, the community does have something to say, whether it's good or bad. So they probably have gotten to a point where like, okay, we're not gonna say anything until the patch notes release, and then they can deal with it then. But at the same time, right, like that's the position that you're in when you develop a game like this, and that's popular as Apex Legends is, you know? Exactly.
And I mean, one thing we can relate to it, let's try to relate it to where content creators who watch this video understand, and then let's try to relate it to a casual, maybe somebody from Reddit. I think a content creator, let's say whenever you are going through a lot and becoming a bigger name, right, Dre, that you had a lot of backlash on things that who you were as a person.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But those were your foundations of who you were. You can't just change those because that's who you are. But people are going to hate on it. And so the same thing with Apex is that Apex at its core is going to have a fundamental, but that's just who you are, right?
Yeah, that's what the Apex game is. Yeah, that's what they do, you know? And of course, like you said, people are going to hate on it because that's just like what it is. But at the end of the day, you still got to do you, and you still got to, you know, do what you feel like is best for your community and your game too.
And I'll try to relate this to maybe somebody on Reddit or a casual perspective. It feels like they're pandering or catering to a specific audience. It's annoying. Like I can imagine where you see somebody on Twitter or say something dumb about the game and how they want the game to look for them, and then you see a gut wrench reaction from Respawn where they make a change. But then I can understand from a casual Reddit perspective where they're saying, well, how come I am not getting the game I want, and then these guys are just spending all the time in the game? But realistically, I come home from work, I play the game, and let's be honest here, the casuals are what make the game. When we don't have casuals, then there aren't people watching content. If they're not watching content, then the casual player base isn't growing. We all have to keep in mind that everything is connected, right? Everything. from what's happening from Apex, from the problems to what makes it succeed.
I agree 2000%, bro. It is all connected. You know, at the end of the day, we are all one community and we all want one objective, and that is to see Apex succeed, for it to grow, for it to evolve, and for all of us to be heard and seen and to enjoy a game that we all have passion for. You know what I'm saying? But when there's clashing and there's butting of heads and there's things, there's friction, there's frustrations and there's annoyances and stuff like that, it makes it really hard to kind of get to that objective, bro. When people aren't on the same page, and especially if it feels like the people who are creating the game, the developers, aren't on the same page as the community.
And I want to make another switch in topic here, and there's two things I want to really talk about. We're going to switch to this topic. There's a lot of competition, and right now there's a lot of negativity across the board, but we're also in very, because you could say, trying times, right? Not necessarily the best of times. The economy's not in the best state, right? So when I say that, I don't think any casual, any Redditor, or any person who wants to spend time in a streamer's stream of them just complaining about the state of the game because they're either bored, tired, or things just aren't up and up, right? And so the same thing with a casual, when you come home from work, the last thing you want to do is hear that, and the last thing a streamer wants to do is see the negativity from somebody casual. There's a lot of connections I'm trying to make here. It segues to my next point, is that we're seeing viewership is significantly down on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter.
Sure.
And so I ask you this question on your perspective, with understanding that people don't want to see negativity and there's a lot of competition. What are your thoughts on, everyone's been talking about it, on everything just being down? Everything. What do you think?
Well, you have to also take into account there's a lot of games that are releasing right now. You know, Fortnite is going crazy with the OG stuff, and especially with their new season. So a lot of people are kind of occupied with that. Warzone just dropped as well, so people are kind of heading over to that as well. So there's other games that are out that people are enjoying besides Apex. So that's also a big reason why the viewership is down. But another big viewership is obviously just the game, you know, and the state that it's in, man. The LTM recently just dropped with the new, I think it's the Uprising Collection event with the Lobo Prestige skin.
Yeah.
And the LTM just honestly is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of content creators are all just kind of like, like it's okay. You know, it's not anything too crazy, but I would rather have 3 strikes, you know? And so overall, like people just aren't interested in Apex right now. And it sucks because most of the time when there's a new event out, you see viewership just skyrocket and it goes up. Everyone's interested. But with this event, it just dropped. No one really cared. Like the viewership kind of stayed the same and maybe went up a little bit, but it kind of stayed the same. Apex used to be 70, 80K viewers on Twitch. Now it's averaging around 20, 30K, maybe even barely pushing 40, you know? So it's just such a crazy sight to see. And I wouldn't say how far this game fell, but just the state that it's in right now, and that no one is really searching for Apex content like that anymore, you know? I kind of want to bring this up too, that there's really not content to make for content creators in Apex anymore, because people only really care about high damage games, you know, grinding ranks, stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of the content ideas have already been done by content creators in Apex. Like I feel like there's only so much you can do. But with Fortnite, you know, you have this different creative and all these different maps and all these different skins and all these different things that you could do. In COD, you got the proximity chat, you got the camos, you got all these different attachments, these gun systems that you can kind of show off, stuff like that. In Apex, there's not really much, bro, in terms of like content creation, in terms of really showcasing personality. You could showcase gameplay and skill and outplayability, but you can't really showcase personality in Apex too much anymore, because I feel like everything's been said and done.
And we have people abusing the system. Did you hear about what happened with those YouTubers who are bot lobbying? And yeah, people want to see high damage games and high kill games to the point where people are abusing systems like that.
I did not hear that. I did not hear about
this. This was big with Floating Koala, where there's like 3 or 4 YouTubers out there that are abusing the algorithm.
I did see that. Yeah. And it was like some guy who was claiming he was on Furia, but he got dropped like a couple months ago or something like that.
And
I saw that.
There's a bunch of them who are doing this, where they'll get into bot lobbies and they'll dumpster and just keep uploading and farming the algorithm and getting lots of views because of it.
Wow.
Because you're saying that's what people want to see, but that also makes it unrealistic for content creators, right? This is where the hypocrisy comes in.
The boundary.
I wonder if there's a confusion here with people on Reddit seeing those games and dumpstering on bot lobbies, but the real content creators, the real pros and people, are literally stuck in skill-based matchmaking hell. Okay? Like those people are not part of the right algorithm. They are dumping on those bot lobbies, and they are cheaters. They are cheating.
Literally, the new 4K is like 2,500, 2,700 damage, like in that range. Like I kid you not, because SBMM is just so cranked, and the lobbies die out so quickly in pubs. It's so hard to like farm people, And two, most of the time when you do fight someone, they're pretty good, they're above average, or they're on your similar skill level. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty difficult to even farm high damage or high kill games anymore in this game.
This will be interesting how this video does, because I think it'll really pivot to what people are interested in watching. And if you've gotten to this point in the video, I know we've been a little all over the place, but we're very passionate about this. I think everyone's talking about it. It's why it's so important. What kind of content do you guys want to see? I think even Gaming Merchant has asked on the stream, it's like, what are you guys watching? Like,
what do Apex viewers even watch anymore nowadays? Like, it's so hard to decipher and so hard to really gauge, because of course, you know, you have the foundation where it's high damage, high kills, but like other than that, what do people want to see? You know, like,
is it just this commentary where we really talk about the state of the game in the future? Is it really pushing us for the future of Apex? Is it talking about these smaller issues that we're seeing, because they add up, a lot of small issues? If I were to just kind of bullet point, it's like cheaters not getting LTMs. I want you to talk about your 3 strikes LTM story here in a minute too. And then also when we talk about balancing problems, Respawn putting their foot down, lag, rank changes, people healing.
That is one of the biggest things.
I mean, we could sit here for hours. I kid you not, for hours
talking about the problems with the game.
But they're small issues, and that's the problem, is that they're all small, but they all add up so quickly. And it may seem like it's very ranty, and I really want to try to avoid that feeling, but then I want to
just reality.
Like, so when we think about who the game is catering to, it's not, I don't know if it's catering to anybody. It's not casual, it's not pros. I'm confused. Now, what can Respawn do at this point? Let's try to spin this instead of us just going on a tangent, because we all know there's problems, okay? And we've kind of laid them out, so anybody who watched the video up to this point understands that we get it, and we understand even if this game catered to casuals, I still would be happy. At least I knew what this game was, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, we've kind of talked about it a bit, but like really like hammer the point home. What can they do?
Well, for one, I think stop making the content and overall the LTM centered around spending money, you know, and kind of like a cash grab, quote unquote, because all the events and all the content that we do get are centered around an heirloom, right? Whether it's for a skin or whether it's for an actual legend, they want you to spend money in the store, and the whole purpose of the event is to get you to buy that heirloom, you know? So I would love to see some different content in the game other than just like actual collection events. And they have added that over the years, but in terms of actual like meaningful content with depth and things that, you know, the gameplay loop and the replayability, bro, like we need some more stuff other than just actually playing the game of Apex Legends. You feel me? Like we have 5 different maps at this point, so many different guns that have been added, legends and stuff like that. So there is content, but at the end of the day, at the premise of it, we are just simply playing Apex, and that gets boring over time, bro. So what they could do is, like I said, add some new content, bro. A little bit more communicative on the socials, right? I would love to see some more communication on Twitter. Just mainly putting their foot down, like we talked about earlier as well, and also making sure the community is involved as possible and feeling like we're heard and we're seen and we're a part of this game, rather than them pushing a product on us and us like kind of indulging it and digesting it, you know, rather than like it being a relationship where we feel like we're both adding value to the overall end game of the product, rather than like Respawn being the business and then them selling the product to the consumer, which is us, the community. You know, like I would love for us to both be on the same path, elevating the game and pushing the game further, rather than just like Respawn calling all the shots, you know? If that makes sense.
You know, I actually think you hit on it so beautifully. Like you said everything just so eloquently there. Like I don't even know if I have anything to add. I mean, I think that we do see, just FYI, we do see that there is progress. Otherwise, this game would not have made it to year 4. Okay, there is progress from where this game was and where it's going. And I think the beauty of it is that if people are making these type of videos and really care, it only means that we want the game to continue to succeed and thrive. And if you do, if Respawn is doing a good job, what do people want more of? A better job. If you do good work, what do you get rewarded with? More work.
Yeah,
and I think that if people stopped talking about it and the viewership does keep going down and nobody keeps raising concerns, and I think we've brought up a lot where it comes with a theme of communication, where let's go to say that things aren't doable, but then they just put their foot down and say, you know what, 120 FPS isn't doable, we promised it, things came up, it's delayed until next year, and we're going to give you an update on this month. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, as long as they address it, they're acknowledging it, and they're putting out a statement for the community to be like, hey, we know that you guys are, you know, voicing your concerns and stuff like that. We see it. you know, you guys are being heard. All right. And then this is the solution. This is the plan that we have, you know, from your guys' concerns. But we're not seeing any of that at this moment, you know?
I think developers, I mean, they probably understand more on the casual perspective than even we do, that our voice, even though we're mentioning a lot of stuff here, I think we're hitting on a lot of topics that even casuals will be frustrated with, which is why I'm trying to hit on those specifically. They just put their foot down and trust that their voice is going to be respected and they are going to get backlash. Just ignore those people. They'll move on. They really will. Just like any other hater, they're going to, if they can hate, they can love. Okay.
Yeah.
True, and if they love the game, the scary part is if they love the game, they can hate it. And I think that it's better just to, like we said in the theme here, just make some people mad, and just, even if they upset the pros or the content creators, just trust that you know what you're doing. Because they've heard all decisions. They've heard all our feedback. They keep seeing it on social media, and I don't think a casual's wrong. I don't think a content creator is wrong. I don't even think a pro player is wrong. I think that every ecosystem is important for the games in which they want to thrive. And if one category falls, everything topples over. I mean, look at Fortnite. You know what Fortnite decided to do? They kind of said screw the pro scene and said it doesn't exist anymore, pretty much.
Honestly, yeah, they don't really cater to the pros or anything like that anymore. They're really just catering to the overall ecosystem of Fortnite, you know, rather than just like one lane of it. And I feel like Apex isn't really doing that. They're kind of trying to cater to, I don't even know what they're catering to anymore. And that's like a big part of it too, is just like the confusion.
Any casual, any pro, any creator who watches a video, I think everyone can say that everyone's hypocritical, thinking that one side is being catered to the other. And I can promise you, based on what I've seen, the research that I've done, that ain't nobody happy right now.
Yeah, literally nobody. I can't see a single soul who's actually enjoying Apex right now, and it sucks because we still have 60-something days left of this season. And it's like, okay, what else can we do in this game right now? There's nothing else to really grind for, man.
Let's wrap up on this thought I think it'll hit the overall theme of this video, where 3 Strikes came out, was very popular with a specific group, and it disappeared. And tell your story, and as we wrap up this whole conversation and video, I think it's important because it showcases that they can double down in a direction, but they pull it away and they do something else. So I want to hear what happened and what your journey was through that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know anybody who actually thought 3 Strikes was a bad thing. You know, I from what I saw on social media and from everybody on Twitch and stuff like that, everybody loved 3 Strikes because you have the ability to come back. It's less risky, right? You don't have to sit in like lobby simulator. You could farm high damage, right? It was a lot of fun. The only negative thing I saw was people running Lifeline Newcastle and complaining about that. And yeah, it is cheese and it is annoying, but that's not Respawn's fault. That's just like the players kind of developing a meta, you know, and what's best. Honestly, I took a break from the game, bro. After 3 Strikes was gone, they brought it back, right? I was like, oh yeah, you know, and then they got rid of it again. And I don't know if they're gonna bring it back. I wish they do, and I hope they do. Knowing Respawn, they're probably not. But if they do, they're probably going to bring it back like sometime next season. But I took a break, bro. I took a break from the game for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, because there's just nothing to really grind for. You know, I'm a content creator where I try to showcase my personality rather than my gameplay, and I try to highlight who I am rather than my skill level. And so I don't really grind rank like that. So I'm just playing pubs all day. 3 Strikes was the perfect solution for that. I could play that shit 8 hours a day. But regular pubs now, I'm just like, bro, I'm bored. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to play the game. I'm going to take a break real quick. And so I've been playing other games off stream. I've been playing World of Warcraft. I've been playing Diablo. I'm playing Call of Duty. Yeah, you know, other games and shit like that. Kind of just vibing. Yeah. But it just goes to show that, like, it's like, what is there to really work towards in Apex right now? You know, for the average content creator, for, you know, the pro player, of course, there's ranked right there, but ranked not even doing well right now. Ranked hasn't been doing well for the past 5 seasons, you know? And for the average casual, right, they hop in mixtape, they hop in the new LTM. There's SBMM in that bitch too, and they're getting worked. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, like, I'm just hopping on this game and I'm just absolutely hating myself. I'm like, bro, I'm in a worse mental state of mind before I was playing Apex Legends. It's like, okay, this shit isn't even fun anymore. I think a lot of people are just overall bored, right? A lot of people who have been playing for some odd years, right? Whether it's 2, 3, 4, you know, ever since the games came out, however long, right? They're just bored. They're just really bored of the game. They feel like there isn't really nothing new that's being added. They're kind of just slowly building it up, right? Brick by brick. But we need, like you said, we need more, bro. We, like, in terms of Call of Duty and in terms of Fortnite, which are Apex's biggest rivals, they're blowing it out of the fucking water right now, bro. Like, they are just absolutely smacking Apex on his booty cheeks. So it's like, okay, would I rather hate myself playing a BR, right, and just not get that time back and not actually enjoy myself, or would I rather go play one of these newer games, right? Warzone just released, Fortnite new season just released, that's a lot more polished, has a lot more content, and I'm actually going to enjoy myself playing. Obviously, it's a no-brainer, you know? So in order for like Apex to kind of fix that, they just got to do some more shit, man. Bring some more shit back to the game, you know, the things that we talked about in this video, and I think it'll be A-okay. Is Apex going to die anytime soon? No, I don't think so. But is it going to live another 5 years? Shit, I don't know. Probably not.
Listen, this video is a mirror of what we see on social media, on Reddit, on streams, on everywhere. And granted, I know it kind of goes in a bit of a circle, but let's be honest, it's the same stuff that we're seeing on social media. So I think this really relates to the exact feelings of how everyone is going through. And Dre, I appreciate for coming out, for having this discussion. Man. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew that was coming, which is why I was like,
almost like every season, every couple months, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And so at this point, like maybe we're going to see that, and hopefully this empowers them. And maybe we've given some good here. I know it's tough love. It's hard. Listen, we've gotten tough love, and you know, we deserve it as well. And maybe people will comment. Maybe we'll get destroyed for it. I don't know. Maybe this is the whole point of it. It's putting ourselves out there, and Respawn is in the hot seat. Everyone's in the hot seat right now, and it's time for to make 2024 exciting. And hopefully nobody watches this video and gets like down, because it's for all of us to be uplifted. So thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Of course, bro.
Guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in the next one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate you, guys. Love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Bye.